Fun fact, I often play a pump-up jam. Nobody says that. Nobody uses that term. Before I film a video, a song that like gets me going, and that's today's. I'll link it below. Welcome to the marathon. My name's Mare. Coffee the size of my head, as always. I feel like if I ever wrote a memoir, that could be the title. Coffee the size of my face. This is a question from Nicole. How do you balance your positive attitude with acceptance? For instance, you've said a couple of times, I've already been through the worst thing. I can look forward to what I know will be good things happening in the future. Are you ever scared that worse things will happen to you and that this just helped you prepare for it? I really struggle with being scared about having even worse things happen to me than what has already happened in the past. How do you handle that fear? First of all, I'm really sorry that you're struggling with this, Nicole. I'm sorry that shitty things have happened to you and that you're scared that shitty things are going to happen again. I had never really thought about this, honestly, until you asked this question. I had a very loving, very secure, safe childhood, which I feel very blessed about, especially as I learn more about like abuse and sexual abuse and what little kids have to go through. Like, it's just horrific. I had a very loving, warm home. I'm very blessed. And then when I was 19, my world was shattered when my dad died of a heart attack. And that really instantly changed me. It changed my outlook on life. It changed my outlook on everything in general. And then that was in 2002, fast forward to Thomas being born in 2011. He was diagnosed with hearing loss the day after he was born, then like having to have his cochlear implant, and then being diagnosed with autism. That was like a horrific 3 years of my life, which then was followed by Jeremy's mental health taking an incredible dip, and he committed suicide in 2017. Welcome to my channel, by the way, if you're new here. My name's Mare. Just a little backstory. So I could see as you're saying that, like, do you feel that things happen to you to prepare you for worse things, and am I fearful of that? I am not fearful of worse things happening. Jeremy killing himself was my worst nightmare for years, and it happened, and I survived. Like my girlfriend Jess says, you can do anything for 10 minutes, and that carried me for the last year and a half. I think having my dad pass away when I was 19, and then having a child with special needs, and then having being a widow at the age of 33, life is short, and I refuse to live in fear. I lived in fear for so long with Jeremy and with Thomas. Like, the fear with Thomas was like him hitting his head, his hearing loss going down, needing surgery, needing to go to Emerge. All of those things have happened, and he's healthy, he's thriving, he's loving. I just heard him say more before I turned on the camera. And then I lived in total, constant fear, whether I was awake or sleeping, that Jeremy was going to take his life. Walked on eggshells for years, tried to be 5 steps ahead of him, never trying to set him off, always just trying to do my best. And here I am, a widow. So I really I've done a lot of self-work since becoming a widow. A lot of introspection, a lot of alone time, and I really just think that life is way too short to live in fear. Shit's gonna happen. Yep, I know it. Things are gonna happen to me. I know it. Like, it's inevitable. But it's how you react to them that's important. And I think I find a lot of strength and comfort in the fact that I put a lot of daily work into myself. And this is new to me in the last like couple of years, and I've said it before, and I will preach it, I will teach it, I will tell you every video if I need to, that self-care and self-worth and working on yourself is not selfish. I think it's like such a life raft. And so I used to live in fear constantly that things were going to happen. And I just don't anymore because I have zero control. I was terrified all the time and bad things still happened. And I lost so many years of my life because of that, and living in that fear and that anxiety and that constant stress, that I just refuse to do it now. I'm not naive to think that my life is perfect. No, especially if you watch my videos or follow me or anything. Life is not perfect. It's hard. I know things are going to be hard. I'm raising a child with special needs. I understand that my trajectory is difficult. But I feel like you have two options. One, you live in that fear and you're just scared all the time. Bad things are still going to happen. Or you try to live a joyful life that's productive, and you surround yourself with love, and you go on adventures, and you have fun, and you do your best, and you live by the 4 agreements. Bad stuff's gonna happen either way. So like, I think it's up to you how you choose to conduct your day. I think that if you are, like in your question you said, I really struggle with being scared about having even worse things happen to me. Like, that breaks my heart because I have been there. I get it. And bad things are gonna happen. But it's like how you choose to react to them, how you choose to like, I don't want to say prepare, but like, I know I have a really strong network of family and friends around me so that if there is an emergency, I know I'm not alone. And unfortunately, I had to go through my worst nightmare to realize that I wasn't alone. But like, Nicole, you're not alone. You have family, you have friends, you have the marathon, you're very active. Life's too short to live in fear. And a way to combat that is to continue to work on yourself. So whether it's the self-improvement books, there's a list on my website of the books that have changed me, whether it's listening to those or podcasts or finding people in your life who build you up and give you strength, finding activities that help you. Like, my mental health and my mindset has shifted so much since I started going to spin and going on my elliptical. Even yesterday, I was so emotional and tired. It's been a rough time in the last week. And I just went on the elliptical for 20 minutes and it really helped. I'm not saying like exercise and your life will be perfect. I hope that this is making sense to you, and I believe that you're only given what you can handle. And for some reason, the universe believes that I can handle a lot. So cheers to that. And I can, and so can you. I also think if you're constantly worried about bad things happening, you're missing so much of the wonderful things that are available to you. So whether it's like, you know, saying 10 things you're grateful for out loud, whether you have to do that 70 times a day to really recognize that there is a lot of good. That really helped me in the first like 6 months of being a widow. Was like, I would just be consumed with, holy F, this is my new life. And then being like, I am breathing, I can walk, Thomas is healthy, he can walk, you know, I can afford my house, I can afford my car, I have a job, I have friends, I have family, it's sunny. Like, look at that pretty tree. Honestly, like, some of the days was just like, I'm breathing, that's a nice blossom. Like, that's all I got. But I'm a huge believer in manifestation as well, and what you focus on, you attract. So seek out those people too who are like living an adventurous life and living life in the moment, still being like careful and cautious and doing everything safely. But life is really short, and it's too short to live your life in fear. And I hope that A, you know you're not alone, and B, you know you don't have to live in that mindset. You absolutely do not have to. How do I balance my positive like outlook with acceptance? I think they're one and the same. I think that you accept, like, you know, I'm open to what's gonna happen, and I'm also open to knowing that if I can't handle it, there are people who can help me. I know Thomas is gonna have more health problems. I get that. I'm gonna have health problems. My family's gonna have health problems. There's gonna be emergencies. But if you're constantly living in fear of those bad things happening, you're missing all the good, and you're missing the joy, and you're missing the potential. So try and focus on the good and bring more of that into your life. Seek out more joy. Like, this is why you see me saving and not going out very often, so that I can take Thomas on big trips in the summer, or I can afford a vehicle that makes me feel incredibly safe. I think that's all I have to say. I think that makes sense. I hope it does. So thank you for the question, Nicole. I hope that it was helpful to you, my answers, and I hope that these answers are helpful to anyone else who needed to hear this today. And I also appreciate sometimes some of you will screenshot me that you're watching older videos and you're like, this is what I needed to hear. So if you're watching this in like 2025 and you needed to hear it today, cheers to you. I'm sure I have a few more wrinkles. Maybe I'm gray hair mare by then, but just kidding. Gray head mare. That doesn't sound as good, does it? Okay. Thank you for watching. Life's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And in this marathon, you're not alone and you don't have to live in fear. And if really bad things are happening right now and you're going through a really tough time, you're not alone. Some of you are going through a really hard time. And my heart goes out to you. Talk to us in the Facebook group. Also remember that this too shall pass. It's just a season in your life. It's not forever. If you choose for it not to be, even if it's like the worst thing possible. I have seen some of you come out of things that my heart breaks for, you know, whether you have constant illness or you've left an abusive relationship or you've had someone in your life pass away. If you're in that dark time right now, trust me when I say it's not always going to be this way, but a lot of it is how you react to it and what you decide to take control of, what you can take control of. Now I'm just blabbering on and waiting to get Thomas to a swimming lesson. So thanks for watching. Lace up, subscribe, become a marathoner. Life's not a sprint, it's a marathon. If you have another question for Ask Mare, you can leave it below. You can also send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram. I'm always checking those. If you would prefer your question to be anonymous, I often post anonymous marathoner questions in the group as well. Okay. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.